Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Nina. I'm a life transformation coach, and if you're not new here, you can see that today's video looks really different than the videos that I normally make, and that is because you have written in and told me that it would be really helpful if I were to be able to make more videos and answer more of your specific questions. So this is something that I would be more than happy to do, and I thought it would be nice if we could kind of do it in a more relaxed environment. So please let me know if this format works for you, and if so, I will be able to answer much more of your questions. So the question that I wanted to answer today is something that I actually got just this morning, and I love this question because it's kind of vague, but I have a very specific answer for it. So the question is, what can I do right now to improve my life? It's a great question, and honestly, there are 1,000 things that we could do right now to improve our life, but what comes to mind is something that I tend to see over and over and over again, and that is that we need to learn to get out of our own way and to stop telling ourselves that we cannot do things. So by far, the biggest obstacle between our own happiness and our own success is ourself. We automatically tell ourselves that we can't do things, and maybe you don't realize how often you are telling yourself this, but it's something again that I see repeatedly. And I think a lot of this has to do with fear. We are afraid to do things because we don't want to fail, or we don't want to look like we are failing in the eyes of other people. And other times it's just simply limiting beliefs, those beliefs that we have kind of created about ourselves that are not at all based in reality, but really hold us back. Those thoughts or those beliefs that we are not good enough, that we're not smart enough, that we could only make this much money, or we could only get this far in our job because of this or that. And again, most of these things are really completely irrational, but we have reinforced them to ourselves so often that we truly believe them to be the absolute truth. So we really live within these confined boundaries. But that doesn't have to be the case, because we can learn to really question these limiting beliefs and see that most of them really are irrational and not based in reality. So that's something that I think that really does hold us back as well, but that's something that is correctable. That is something that we can definitely work on. We have to realize that all those people out there that are actually doing the things that we want to do, that are living the dream, that are going for these goals, they're no better than us, they're no smarter, they're no more capable than we are. The difference is that they went out and they actually did these things. They took that first step. They went out and they got that degree. They went out and they learned whatever it is. They started painting, or they started playing guitar, or whatever it is they wanted to do. You can do all these things too. And I think a lot of times we just get intimidated because we are looking so often at the finished product. If we go on social media, we are seeing them in the end result. We're not seeing all the steps it took for them to get there. But there is always a learning curve. There's always a process. And we have to know that for every success, there were thousands of mistakes. There were thousands of failures. All those people many, many times probably wanted to quit, or felt that they didn't have the answer, or questioned if they were capable, but they kept on going, and eventually they got to the point where, we are seeing the end result. So this is an end result that there is no reason we couldn't get to either, but we are standing in our own way. We are creating this wall telling ourselves that we are not capable of doing this, and again, not true at all. I think a lot of times another thing that holds us back is that we feel like we have to make some kind of big public announcement about everything that we have to do, that everyone has to know everything that we are working on or what our goals are, so that we feel that if we do make mistakes or if we aren't successful right away, it's going to be humiliating, which isn't the case. We don't even have to tell people that we are interested in these things or working towards these things. This could be a promise that we are simply making to ourselves. We don't have to make this grand announcement. We don't have to make it in the public eye unless we choose to do so. So often I have clients tell me that they don't want to try things because they failed so much in the past. And when we talk about it, we realize that that's not actually the case at all. And that's really not the case for most people. For most people, it's not that they have failed failed is that they have failed to try. So they have this goal, but they never actually do anything about it, or they, make one tiny mistake and they forget about it forever, and they, take it as this big failure. But it's not a failure. A failure only happens once you've put in all the work and then somehow it doesn't work out. But that very rarely is the case. And believe it or not, for most people, research really shows that it's not about that final product. It really is about the journey. We find so much life satisfaction and so much fulfillment just by trying new things and by, starting the process and going on that journey. Because what happens when we do not do this is that we just do the same things over and over, because we're basically just doing the things that we know we're good at, the things that we don't feel that we're going to fail at. So we are just really never expanding. We're never exploring. We are never evolving as people, because we just stick to what we know and what we don't think is going to be embarrassing. So if we can learn to really stretch through those boundaries and get out of our own way and actually see what we can accomplish, we are going to be so impressed with ourselves, because we are incredible beings. We can do so many things. Again, we can do, be, or have pretty much anything if we are willing to put that work in. So my invitation to you today is to sit down and think about all the ways that you are really standing in your own way. How are you holding yourself back? How many times are you telling yourself that you can't do the things that you want to do? Think about all the things that you do want to do and the excuses that you are telling yourself, and realize that most of these things are based out of completely nothing. These are just limiting beliefs. They're not real barriers. The real barrier between us and our success, again, is ourself. So think about all the different ways you are holding yourself back, and make a commitment to yourself to do one thing, one tiny little thing to, go towards that goal. And once you do that one thing, you can add another thing and another thing and another thing, and eventually you're going to realize it's not at all as difficult as you thought, that it's fun to be on this learning curve, it's fun to progress in life and to try new things, and you will understand that it really was just yourself getting in your own way. So get out of your own way. That is my best advice, and that's the way I'm going to answer the question today. You never know what you are capable of. Believe in yourself and stop telling yourself that you can't do stuff. You can do whatever it is you want to do. Everything is figure-outable. You can do it. So please let me know in the comments below what it is you're going to be working on, the excuses that you normally tell yourself, and what you're going to do to kind of shift your own paradigm, because there is no time like the present. Make today be the day that you truly commit to changing your life. So I hope this video was helpful to you. If you enjoy this format, please let me know in the comments. If you have further questions, go ahead and keep sending them in. Hopefully I will get to all of them eventually. I thank you so much for spending time with me today, and definitely become a subscriber if you aren't one already. We want you to stay connected. Like this video, share it if you think it's going to help somebody else, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have an awesome day, guys.